Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the GARP's Challenge Navy to take down the Chopper Man missions that have been replenished for the 14.1 update. So with that update comes all of the 10-star and 11-star challenge events to be rerun with the color-based teams. So if you have a look over here in Chopper Man missions, you can actually see right here, we have the GARP's Challenge GARP's Challenge missions to clear. So like I said, in today's video, we're going to dive in with one of every color, and I'm going to sort of showcase how I like to put my teams together, break down the gimmicks, and hopefully give you guys some suggestions and some options for substitutes if you guys don't have the units that you will see in my particular run. However, these particular challenges are very old. I did put out a 2023 like how-to guide, a very easy way to beat them, so make sure to go check that video out if these teams don't help you. But if you enjoy the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. And with that said, let's dive into the strength to start it off for GARP's Challenge Navy. As mentioned, starting off with the strength variant for GARP's Challenge Navy, there's a couple of different gimmicks that we have to get around, and the big one that was first introduced for this particular piece of content is hunger, but what it doesn't have is normal attacks only. So we're going to bring the big dog Kaido. If you can run Kaido in some sort of content with his end of turn damage and his burn, you always want to bring him. So one of the other big gimmicks for this particular fight is the enemy has 2 turns of threshold on turn 3, and then on the final stage against a Kainu, there's a bunch of threshold as well. So you either want to bring a character that has a really, really low cooldown for threshold removal, or you want to bring a character that has 2 turns of threshold removal that has like double special. And the one that comes to mind for me is this Treasure Map Zoro. You can bink his special very, very easily. He does a lot of damage because there's no normal attacks only, and you can do some fun stuff there. As for other units, I believe this ulti is pretty good. You can bring 2 units if you want to. Remember, you do need to bring characters for Kaido, so like this ulti, you've got the Kanjuro right there too. Great free play characters. And then the Fuku Rajuju guy, he also can get around threshold there as well. As I mentioned, you do want to bring someone that has some hunger. So if we go, I believe it's in status effect immunity, I believe. Hunger. We want to bring a character that can get around hunger, and there's like a free-to-play kid that works really, really well. You have Luffy and Sanji. Any character that not only has hunger but has the ability to sort of rotate recovery orbs is going to work absolutely fine here. So I'm just going to bring Kuma. Like, why not? Hell, stuff it. We'll bring Kuma, and now we just need to bring characters that can get around, or that can activate Kaido's EX. Now, there is another bit of utility that we need for the team. We need some Blind and Despair removal. Ideally, we want it to be in the same character. That's going to be nice and handy. Orochi's a great unit because he can trigger the EX of Kaido. So if I wanted to bring someone there, we could do something like that. You have the Orochi's Onuma Banshu, this character right here. That's another unit that can get around it as well. For myself, I'm going to bring this Orochi. And then if you have that, we're going to put it in the middle too, because I believe the bottom row actually gets blinded. We're going to bring that Orochi's Onuma Banshu unit as a support, because he can get around 1 extra turn of Blind and Spare. Make sure you have max sockets for this team, so that way you can get around it as well. And then the other thing that you need to worry about here is there's like a burn mechanic on the final stage, but look, I'm not going to worry about that too much. So I'm just going to bring another character that works underneath Kaido, and the one that I just immediately think of is the lead performers. Lead performers, they're perfect when you are running Kaido teams, because you do want those Wano orbs, and that works out great. Alright, so here we go. That is the team. We have 1 support, but like I said, you guys could probably replace like Kuma with another like hunger remover. You could use 2 threshold removers, as you guys saw with like Kanjuro and the Fuku Rajuju unit. Obviously, that way you'll have to sort of change out Orochi and whatnot too. But remember, I did put out that 2023 guide as well, so I'll leave a link in the description for you guys. If these teams aren't exactly working in your favor, make sure to go check out that video, because there might be some other units there that work great. Other units like Usohachi and whatnot, that like they're fantastic characters too. As for turn 1, you just need to kill the strength unit. Kaido's great here, because Kaido's literally just going to blow away everything with his end of turn damage. So you can hang on to all of the Wano orbs that you get on turn 1 and just move into turn 3 very easily. Now, turn 3 is where you see the first lot of threshold. Now, it's only 2 turns, so you can actually use like supports to get around this. This is where the hunger comes into play. But for this stage, we're actually going to use the Zoro special. We're actually going to blink it twice. Now, you can hang on to it later, but you will get this Zoro special back. So utilizing it here works great. I'm just going to do this and let the end of turn damage of Kaido do the rest. I do like to apply a burn here and there because I don't want to rerun this in no stalling. But using the double special there of Zoro means that we'll get his special back later, and he's just going to do more damage later. But I actually think that there's Red Haki, so either way, it's not going to matter. Now, looking at this, you actually don't need that support of the Orochi's Onue Banshu. You actually just need Orochi himself, so that's nice to see. For this stage 2, I believe you could probably use Zoro here, actually. That would have been a little bit better in terms of actual damage. You can activate an EX here as well. If you guys are missing some of those Wano Orbs, maybe you guys tapped a little bit too many times on the previous turn. Because Orochi gives you an Orb buff. And the Orb buff works great with Wano Orbs. It'll just allow you to just kill very easily. And remember that Kaido is going to be playing a burn when you guys tap with that perfect. Now, against Kizaru, he has a barrier. Now, he makes perfects harder to hit. And this is where I would bring a ship that would work in your favor to just make sure that you guys can hit perfects easier. For this turn, I'm definitely going to use an EX of Kaido. And then I'm also going to use a Kaido special. Now, Kaido gives us one turn of special reverse as well. As you can see, Zoro's pretty much ready to go. So once we do that, we just need to make sure that we hit 2 perfects. I do want to hang on to one of those Wano Orbs, because on this next stage, against Fuji, you can only tap with 4 units. And the idea here is we want to just funnel all our damage into Fuji. I do want to tap with one of those Wano Orbs, because I want to apply the burn mechanic. The burn mechanic should help us just clear this stage in one turn. But what we do have is we have this Kuma special. Kuma's going to do a lot of damage, which is great. That's going to blow everyone away as well. You can save this for later, but for me, I don't really need it, and I just want to make sure that I kill on this turn. Wham bam, thank you, man. On the final stage against Akainu, he's actually going to apply a burn mechanic, and I believe he turns into the opposite color to what your captain is. So you're always going to have type advantage here, so you can throw in like a support for strength type advantage, like as a kid support, I believe. That should work fine. He does have a revive mechanic, and he only lets you use 2 specials, so just be mindful of that. We're going to activate the EX of Kaido. That's going to give us some matching orbs on our top row. We can use our other Kaido special. That's going to apply a conditional for the increased damage taken. And then with the lead performers, we can get a attack boost. Plus, we now have a super tandem. We have a rush ability from Kaido as well. But just remember, you don't want to do too much damage here to yourself, because you do have that burn. But as you can see, like, Kaido just hits really hard, man. He just hits so hard. It's kind of free. Now I'm going to take 8,000 from that burn. On the revive, this is where you see that next lot of threshold. This is where we're going to use Zoro once again. And this time, this is where we're actually going to go crazy with our rush. So we're going to go into the rush. And then with literally no buffs, just the super tandem and the rush ability, we can easily take out Akainu. So don't stress that the burn is going to hit you. Remember, it's just the regular burn, and that's strength. Getting it done very easy. As for the DEX Team, whenever it comes to end of turn damage, I like to run this Prime Beard. Prime Beard doesn't really have that much value anywhere else besides his GARP challenges, so it's really nice to see that you can actually get some use out of him when you need it. Now, we do need the threshold removal. Zoro Sanji is going to be a fantastic character for that. You do need to be in the Sanji variant. You have a switch ability every single turn for extra damage. It's just going to be really, really nice to bring them if you have them. Other units that you could bring for threshold, we do want to bring a character to trigger the Whitebeard EX. But other characters you can look at for threshold, like Kid's a good shout. You could maybe run Jozu. You could use the Rare Recruit Jinbei is a great option. You have the old school Praline unit. So like you have some good options here. But remember, you do want to actually bring 2 characters to get around threshold. So I'm going to use Kid just because Kid's an attack booster as well. Remember, we want to bring someone that has the potential ability for hunger. So let's have a look here. You could also use a character that has recovery orb manipulation as well. So just be mindful of that. We're going to bring Ace Yamato. That's going to trigger the super type of Whitebeard as well. Plus, again, they're a very good attack booster. They work out great there. You have other units here. Look, you got like that free-to-play Luffy's a good shout. You could run like Carrot Nami if you really, really want to. And then you could bring like Vivi Rebecca. The other thing that we want to bring is the Bind and Despair removal. So like this content has a lot of gimmicks that you have to sort of like work around. You have Hiyori there as well. You could easily just use Hiyori. That way you have your Hunger remover and your Bind and Despair remover as well. So very good unit that everyone should have because she was free to pick up. You have Corazon here as well. Ace Sabo is another really good shout if you wanted to bring another character that has the Ace in its name. As for us, though, I think we're going to use... who can we use? We can't... let's bring this Luffy just so I got the Super Tandem of Zoro Sanji. Yeah. We'll do that just so that, like I said, just so that way we have the Zoro Sanji Super Tandem. And that's the team. Diving in for the DEX variant using Prime Beard. It feels weird using Prime Beard, man. I'm not going to lie. The unit is, or has, never really been meta for anything besides these challenges. So, if you have Prime Beard, like, you can level him up if you want to. Go for it. But you can also just run V1 Kaido. Like, V1 Kaido is going to do it very, very nicely as well. If this piece of content didn't really have that many gimmicks, we could easily run both of them, kind of like what we did against Worst Generation. And just chuck Kaido on the bottom slot and just have, like, Kaido's end of turn damage doing, like, butt tons for us as well. But it's not really needed, if I'm honest. Like, Whitebeard's end of turn damage, it's going to clear most things. And then with the Super Tandem of Zoro and Sanji, you're going to be in for a good time regardless. Now, on turn 3, we have that first lot of Threshold. So this is where we're going to throw our Kid Special at the enemy. It's actually just going to kill. Because we kept all of those Dex Orbs. We're just going to kill that nice and easy. And that's going to make this stage actually very easy too. Because normally you'll get like unfavorable Tandem Orbs, or you'll get unfavorable Recovery Orbs. And that is a bit of a downside to bringing something like Zoro Sanji, or characters that can give those types of orbs. Because you're going to have to find a way around that. So we're going to use the free-to-play Luffy here. He's going to give us an orb buff too. And then thanks to Kid, we're also just going to have matching orbs too. Remember though, bomb orbs hurt. They definitely hurt. So just be very, very careful when you are doing your taps. So we're going to go like this. Okay, I was too cautious there. Okay, beautiful. I was very cautious with the bomb orbs, plus I am connected to my capture card, so it is a little bit harder to tap. As for this next stage against Kizaru, we are going to be Kizaru is going to make it harder to hit perfects, but that's okay, because what we can do here is we can switch with Zoro Sanji, and the upside to bringing something like Zoro Sanji is when you use the Whitebeard special, it actually overwrites the attack and the orb buff. So Whitebeard special becomes very, very valuable. We're going to break through the barrier here. Again, bring a ship that makes it easy to hit perfects, and you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. On to the Fuji stage. Fuji is going to only allow us to use 4 taps. So just be mindful of that. We are going to utilize the switch of Ace Yamato. And then we're going to use the Ace Yamato special. Remember, Ace Yamato are only going to buff Free Spirit and Striker-based characters. We're also going to use a super type of Whitebeard. That's going to allow us just to get more damage on Fuji, because remember, we can only tap with 4 units here. Very important that we remember that. We do have the Super Tandem ready, but I don't know whose Super Tandem we have. Whose Super Tandem do we have? Do we have Whitebeard Super Tandem, maybe? I think we have Whitebeard Super Tandem. So let's tap. I do want to try and keep some orbs, though, because the Tandem Orbs actually are unfavorable. So just be mindful of that. Let's go with Whitebeard, I suppose. Didn't really matter, because we just cleared anyway. So that's always nice. The final stage against Akainu, remember he only lets you use 2 specials on this final stage, so we're going to make sure that we have Zoro and Sanji be the Sanji variant. Very important that you guys do that. So as you can see, we're going to switch into Zoro, so that way on the next turn we can switch back into Sanji. We're going to utilize the Whitebeard special, get the attack and the orb boost and the plus, because we're below a certain threshold of damage. We can tap with more units this time, which is great. Whose Super Tandem do we have, man? Like, it's crazy. So let's just tap you. Oh, don't forget about the burn. Okay. Don't forget about that burn. Very important that you have enough HP to tank that. But remember, on the revive, you can definitely utilize some more taps. So switch to Zoro Sanji again. That attack and orb boost is going to be great. They can remove the threshold. You can get yourself a chain boundary with Ace Yamato with their switch. You have a bit more damage here with the Whitebeard super type. Literally almost killed. So if you keep both of them, you could just probably bink that on the revive. And I'm fairly certain that it goes through defensive effects as well. So, you could easily do some fun stuff there. Remember, you have all the end of turn damage that I haven't been using as well. So, just be mindful of that if you guys don't have as much investment. On to the Quick typing now. And Quick doesn't really have like a crazy end of turn damage dealing unit. But what they do have is a unit that can auto-proc their special. And the one that I immediately think of is a character like Kaido or a character like King. Now, you don't take that much damage when you are utilizing Kaido in this content. So, like, I'd love to use Kaido, but I think using King is just going to be a much better option, as long as you can bring a character that is going to be an attack booster. Now, we do need to bring someone for hunger, so we are going to bring that, try and find that first. King doesn't need anyone crazy for his super type. We just need to use an attack booster. So if we go into hunger and then we just use like literally anyone that is going to do an attack boosting special. So you have Red Rock Luffy. He's a pretty good option. You could use something like who else does attack boosting? You're an orb booster. Carrot One is an orb booster. You could do something like Vivi Rebecca. They're also going to be an attack booster, but I'm going to bring Red Rock. He just makes the most sense to me. As for the Bind and Despair removal, we do want to bring someone for that. There's no other attack booster. If you could find an attack boosting unit here, like that would work too. For this team, actually, I think, are you an attack? One of these Bonnies does attack boosting. Yeah, so this Bonnie does it, and then I believe she's actually going to be another attack booster. So you could actually just use this Bonnie to get an auto proc of King twice, which is pretty nice stuff. We do want to get around the threshold, as I mentioned. If you can't find a character that has that double special shenaniganry, you can use a character that, like, you can just bring, like, 2 characters for it. For this team, I think we're going to have to bring 2 characters. You could run the Kuzan. He's an attack booster again. You have this Zoro for some color affinity. That's a pretty good shout. Cross Guild, Momo. You have a lot of options here, which is really cool. We'll bring Zoro Sanji again, just because, like, why the hell not? And then, like, you could bring Nami Karina. If you could bring Nami Karina and Zoro Sanji on the same team, it's going to make life so freaking easy. So, for the sake of the video, let's just do that. So, that's the team. Let's give it a run. Oh, before we dive in, just make sure that you actually have the unit like this. And then probably put, like, Zoro Sanji, like, at the bottom, because, like, the Tandem Orb shenanigans is a bit of a bitch. Once again, that is the team. Let's dive on in. King doesn't see that much play anymore, but honestly, for myself, like, when it comes to GARP challenges, like, he's the man. You can use Queen as well for the DEX one. If you guys don't have, like, that Whitebeard leveled up, like, Queen's a really good option. But what Quick really struggle with is, like I said, that end of turn damage stuff. It does make it a bit challenging for them to actually speed run through this type of content. But what we can do with King, because he has those auto-procking specials, you can actually use one on turn 2, and you're not going to be hindered. That special is going to give you an orb buff for your quick characters, and then you're going to get the end of turn damage because you're in King's Pterodactyl variant. Ideally, you probably want to try and save some orbs here, but like you also just want to try and get through this content like fairly smoothly. Remember, now you have an orb buff, so you should be able to, if you hit your perfects, you should be able to clear everything fairly nicely. But then again, King's end of turn damage, it will blow everything away. So if you just want to one-tap there, go for gold. I hadn't tested it, so that's why I wanted to run it. But either way, you should be absolutely fine. So, we're going to get the threshold on this turn. We're going to use Nami Karina here. Nami Karina give 2 turns of cooldown if you use the Karina variant. The Karina variant is the one that gets rid of the threshold, so make sure that you are in that form. We're going to switch into Zoro. Actually, Zoro Sanji, I'm an idiot. Zoro Sanji are the ones that are going to trigger this the shenanigans of King anyway. All you got to do is switch with them. Yeah, that was stupid of me. I actually totally forgot about that. So, like, you could just use anyone else for your hunger removal. You can use anyone else for your bind and your spare removal, and you'll be fine. We actually get Despaired there too, which is kind of good, because I think that blocks the auto trigger. But if it blocks it to the point where, like, we lose it, that's kind of annoying. Either way, we have Bonnie here. She's going to give us the attack boost. I'm going to switch with Zoro Sanji here, and then I'm actually going to use one of the King's super types. So that way we just get a full bot of quick orbs. Remember, this is where you get that super annoying shenanigan that you lose the what's it called? You lose tandem orbs being favorable, and you lose recovery orbs being favorable. So nice and easy. Use the EX there, and you'll be off to the races. For the Kizaru stage, we're actually going to get the auto proc of King, which is really, really nice. We're going to get the carryover of Bonnie. So you don't even need to swap with Zoro Sanji here, but I would, just so that way you actually get the super tandem available for you. And then when you tap with these units, you can actually activate it, provided you have a high super tandem with Zoro Sanji, of course. But with that said, it shouldn't be that big of an issue, because Zoro actually is a driven DEX unit, so he's actually going to do quite a bit of damage here, which is really, really nice. That way we can switch back into our quick forms on this stage against Fuji. Hopefully we get the auto proc here. No, okay, we don't get the auto proc, so bit of a shame, but that's okay. Upside to bringing Red Rock Luffy with Zoro and Sanji too is when you switch with Zoro Sanji and use the Red Rock special, just like that Whitebeard strat, you actually get an attack boost and an orb boost to all of your quick characters, which is really, really nice. Once we've done that, we can just tap here. Again, you can use the super tandem if you have it. If you don't stress. You should do a lot of damage anyway, and just tap with other units that have matching orbs. Onto the what's his name? Akainu stage. He is going to turn into a strength unit for us, which is really, really nice. Blows away all of those positive effects. King goes out of his special. And this is where he actually gets a little bit fun, because we can actually utilize the King special here. And then we'll have another King special ready to go for the final stage, which is really, really nice. Remember, you do want to make sure that you are in the Sanji variant, so that way you can get around the threshold. Make sure you guys are in that form. You do get the burn as well, so just be mindful of that. But as you can see, we should have plenty of damage there. Really nice stuff. And then on the revive, you're going to have the threshold removal with Zoro Sanji. Make sure you are Sanji. And then you're going to have like King for some damage here. You can use the super type of King as well. That's going to give you some matching orbs. And then Nami Karina just go back into their quick form, which is really, really nice. And again, you have end of turn damage with King that I wasn't really using. But like I said, if you guys aren't like hitting the same numbers as me, that end of turn damage will come in clutch. Onto the Psy variation now, and this one is literally going to be the easiest for everyone. All you got to do is just bring this Luffy, and you basically win. Like, it's completely free. You want to bring this Luffy and a friend captain 6+ Luffy, and you're covered for literally everything. It's actually crazy. We're going to throw Brook on because Brook can sort of just wave clear the first stage, like the first two stages, really. Mainly that second stage, it has heaps of defense. That's what I want to use him for. And for the stage against Fuji, because he should kill the back units very, very nicely. Now, all we need to bring here is a hunger-based character and a character that can get around... Yeah, basically just a hunger character, if I'm honest. So I'm going to bring Yamato, the Super Sugo Fest. She has hunger removal, which is really, really handy. Other than that, like, you just want to bring characters that can trigger the... EX of Luffy, and for that, I always like to bring Momo and Law. They have an ability that gives themselves cooldowns, and when you use characters that are either slashes or free spirit, you can just get cooldowns, which is awesome. As I mentioned, if you have Luffy 6-star and 6+, you are going to get around Binding Despair, plus the EX of Luffy is going to allow you to go through stuff like barriers, and the threshold, which is prevalent on this fight. So, we are using a hybrid team, but look, it's Gear 5. Everyone's still running in whether you have 6+ and not 6-star, or you have 6-star and not 6+. You should be able to find the opposite fairly easily. So that was the team once again. Let's dive on in. On turn 1, we don't have like the wave clearing strat that we had with the DEX and the quick fight. So just make sure you kill this yellow unit in the back. Once he dies, you are going to get all your cooldowns, and it works out very hunky-dory. You have both EXs available to you because obviously the Gear 5s rely on the same EX formula. On turn 2, we're just going to bink that Brook special, as I mentioned. He is going to just basically kill the units, which is exactly what we need. On to Kobe and Helmeppo. We're going to use our Luffy EX here. The hunger gets taken care of thanks to Yamato. And this Luffy EX now allows us to go through all defensive effects. Psy orbs are hitting for a 3x multiplier. So as you guys will see, you hit very, very hard. Brook actually keeps his orb as well when you hit it perfect. So that's always really, really fun to do. On to the stage against Smoker, Tashigi, and Hina. You get Bind and Despair. And then you remove that with your captains. But then you also get like a bunch of unfavorable orbs, as well as a bunch of tandem orbs. This is where we're going to use the Law special. It's going to give us back our full border orbs, which is really, really handy. And now remember, every time I believe it's like any other unit uses a special, Law's going to get 2 turns of cooldown, which is awesome. Same with Momo. So what we're actually going to do here, we're going to use the Momo. Actually, no, we're not going to use the Momo special here. We're going to use the Yamato special. I would use the Momo special, but Law gives us 3 turns of end of turn damage, and I do want that Momo special available for the... What's it called? The next turn, just to make sure that we actually kill the units in the back behind Fuji. I am hoping that, what's his name? That Brook will basically just take care of that, but I don't think that damage is going to be enough. Let's see, though. Yeah, it's nowhere near enough. So what I want to do is use the Momo special. That's going to give a lock to his 1 orb, which is great. Remember, you can only tap with 4 units here, but we do have type advantage. Plus, we have an attack boost, and we have additional damage taken. So you shouldn't have too many issues killing here. Easy peasy. And then we move on to the final stage, and we're basically covered for everything. We can lock our orbs with the EX of the 6+ Luffy. We have an attack boost, and we have an orb buff. We are going to lose our positive effects, so just be mindful of that. You can only use 2 specials, though, so if you want, you can actually just, like, bink this Luffy special. That's going to give you type advantage, as well as a color affinity buff, depending on what other specials you guys have available to you as well. As you can see, like, Law is actually getting really, really close, but you don't really need to use the attack boost and the orb buff. You have, again, like I said, you have a full type advantage team here, and then you can just use the 6+ Luffy on the revive, and that is going to just give you an attack boost, and then you can just, like, kill like that. So, like I said, Psy is going to be the easiest for 99% of people, but hopefully the run makes your life a little bit easier. Finally, we have the INT Team, and we did just get a new character that has threshold removal. So we're going to bring the 10th anniversary Super Sugo Fest Luffy. He's going to be our threshold remover, and if we bring another one, we're going to have another threshold remover. So that's always really, really fun. As for the rest of the team, we definitely want to bring someone that has hunger. So let's go into potential abilities with the status effect, and we'll click on hunger here. A bunch of very, very good characters. We have Bonnie, we have Chopper, Carrot, and Nami. They could also remove the bind, which is pretty handy. We also want to bring a character that can trigger the EX of Luffy. So you have like a Sanji here. I'm going to bring Carrot and Nami. Or you could bring Yamato as well, actually. This Yamato is going to be a trigger for Luffy. Let's bring her. I like her a little bit more. As for the bind and the despair removal, you can bring supports for that as well. But for me, I'm just going to bring a character to make it nice and easy so you don't have to like bring too much. We'll use this Chopper. Again, bind and despair removal at his disposal. Plus, I believe he gives color affinity, but I think it's only to cerebral characters, so that's a little bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. You could also use this Pudding, actually. Pudding can stockpile buffs, so that's always fun. So if you wanted to like use a Luffy special, actually that's what we'll do. We'll use a Luffy special and then we'll hang on to that. Now we just need to bring 2 other Straw Hat characters for the Luffy shenaniganry. You don't need anything else though. Like we have everything covered for this particular team. If you want to bring something like a Super Tandem, maybe with like Kid Law, that would be kind of fun. But remember, you are not going to have Tandem Orbs at your disposal. I'm going to bring V2 Shanks because I love V2 Shanks. He's one of my favorite units of the game. We'll use him, and then we'll throw on Halloween Ace. Like, why not, right? Ace is going to buff... does he become an Orb Booster? I think we'll just bring an Orb Booster for this team. We have a lot of attack boosting units, so let's bring some sort of Orb boosting units. What do we have? Let's go into specials, boost damage, boost slot effects. We'll bring Halloween Law. Halloween Law can be a 2-turn Orb Booster, so that's always going to be fun. So remember to put your Bind and Despair unit in the middle, if you want to as well, because you're putting, if she's not leveled in break 5, just chuck on a Rayleigh support for some more Binding Despair. You have a Corazon support too. If you want to use that on Law, you have options. So with that, that's the team. Let's dive on in. Once again, we don't have any end of turn shenaniganry, but INT doesn't have all that much at its disposal besides like Big Mom. So Big Mom would be the character to use if you guys wanted to do end of damage stuff. But look, Luffy's a new character, man, and he can actually take care of Threshold fairly nicely, so I figured we'd use him. But if you guys want to see what to do with Big Mom, make your life very easy, very, very easy, you can easily just go over to the 2023 video, which will be linked in the description for you guys, and check out that run. That'll make life easier for you guys if you guys are missing some of these bigger Super Sugo Fest units, some more 6+ characters and stuff like that. So, like I said, I did do that 2023 video, and hopefully that that video does help you guys out too. So I'm actually going to use a Shanks special here. The reason I'm going to use Shanks special here is because we actually get that carryover of the attack boost. And I just want to be able to clear these stages very nicely. Remember, without end of turn damage units, like that stage can be a bit of a bitch. Purely because you have to worry about the defensive buff, so it's a little bit annoying. So we have the hunger there, it's going to get taken care of. I'm actually going to use Pudding here. Pudding's going to stockpile the attack boost from Shanks. The reason I did that is because I just realized that when I use this Luffy special, he's actually going to be a base stat booster. The base stat boost is nice, but like we want an attack boost, right? So that's going to be the main thing. Luffy does so much goddamn damage as well that he can hit very hard. I probably should use Luffy before Pudding, just so that way I could actually get some cooldowns for Luffy going. Though Luffy removes Despair as well. Totally forgot about that. So you could just bring a Bind removing unit. That's going to work out fine. And that way you don't even need to use Pudding really on this stage. But the upside to Pudding is she is going to rotate all the negative orbs into matching slots. So that stage is super covered too. She's going to give us 2 turns of the buff that she stockpiled, because we have our level 11 break 5. That's not going to matter though, because like you're going to lose it anyway, so it works out quite nicely. On to the Kizaru stage. This is where we can use the special of Yamato, or we can use the special of Law. I'll use the special of Yamato. That should work fine. As you can see, we pretty much have our cooldowns ready to go for Shanks again. Thanks to Pudding giving those cooldowns, which is awesome. Onto this Fuji stage. We are going to want to try and kill this in 1 turn, but I'm just 1 turn short from specials, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm going to use this EX of Luffy, just to get a nice chunky heal. And then I'm going to use the special of Law for a... what's it called? For a orb buff. Now I'm hoping I can actually kill here. I actually might just not have the damage. Yeah, I think we can kill Fuji here. But this is actually a really cheeky strat as well. And look, I'm glad I actually got in the video for you guys, because if you guys are struggling to kill on this stage, as long as you keep like the back units free, you'll actually have plenty of damage to take down, or plenty of turns, I should say, to actually take down these back units very, very easily. So, pretty nice stuff there. Makes life very, very simple, very, very easy. And then you should be A-okay from there. Now, the downside to Akainu is he does like a whole bunch of red Haki shenanigans, which is super, super arrogant. But what we can do is utilize the Shanks special, because his buffs, like his attack buff and his base stat boost, actually can't be blown away, which is super interesting. I'm just going to use the Pudding special too, just to get some more cooldowns, I guess. We can get a chain boosting shenanigan there. We have the rush with Luffy, but it shouldn't matter, because like as soon as we break the rush, Akainu's going to die. Remember, he turns into the opposite type to your captain, so as long as you're not doing anything with dual units, it should be absolutely hunky-dory. As you see, you lose all your positive buffs there. Luffy's going to give us full border orbs once again. You also have the EX, which I totally forgot to use. That's going to give you some type advantage, and should make things very, very easy for taking down poor old Akainu here. We won't even worry about that. See you later. So there you guys go. That was INT. Definitely going to be the harder of the runs. But like I said, if you want to use Big Mom to make life super, super easy, go check out that 2023 video, which will be linked in the description. And while you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.